Hello and welcome to the abridged version of the news on NTA International. I am Nolene Ebel-Ame and my sign language interpreter is Hannah Olainka. Let's take the headlines. President Tinubu describes late former President Muhammadu Buhari as patriotic who served with dignity. Federal government to establish fish importation targets aggressive local production. Ukraine's parliament approves Yulia Silidenko as the new prime minister. The late former President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as a leader who displayed humility in power. President Bola Tinubu stated this at the Special Federal Executive Council session in honor of late former President Muhammadu Buhari. President Tinubu affirmed that late President Buhari's patriotism as a leader was more in action, not in words. The president said the late former president was faithful in all his endeavors.
When he was sworn in as our party's first elected president, he led with restraint, governed with dignity, and bore the burden of the leadership without complaint. Those who knew him most intimately understood that the authority of that exalted office never changed him. In the face of pressure, he remained calm. In the face of crisis, he remained resolute. In the face of triumph, he remained modest. Most remarkably, he retained his jovial spirit.
And let us be honest, he was tough. He was a soldier who did not flinch under fire, a leader who did not flee from responsibility, and above all, a Nigerian whose loyalty to this nation was never up for sale. His toughness was born not out of pride, but of patriotism, a fierce, unrelenting belief that Nigeria, with all its challenges, was still worth fighting for.
In public office, President Buhari was a true partner in democracy. He respected the independence of the legislature and urged his ministers to engage constructively with Parliament. He signed into law several landmark bills that open political space to young people, strengthened our electoral processes, and laid the foundation for economic reform. His development vision reached beyond the present and into the future. The roads, railways, and bridges he built are lasting gifts to the generations yet unborn.
Meanwhile, the third-day Fridau prayer for former President Muhammadu Buhari has been held in Daura. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima led the federal government delegation, joined by former Benin Republic President Thomas Boniai, former Nigerian Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo, among other dignitaries.
It is the third day after the burial rites of former President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, and this gathering is to further pray for the repose of his soul.
اللهم اجعل الجنة الفردوس الأعلى مثواه. اللهم إن كان محسنا فإحسانه وإن كان مسيئا فتجاوز عن سيئاته. As has been said by the ulamas, prayers will continue even after this moment. So we
urge you, even after you leave this place, to continue to pray. Remember in our supplications, as we are being reminded by the ulamas, so that the soul of our former president be accepted in Jannah.
Bringing together religious leaders and members of the Federal Executive Council in honor of the late Muhammadu Buhari.
We thank you, we thank Mr. President, and to the entire people across the world who have sent their condolences to the people of Katsina State, to the entire family of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. I stand here on behalf of the family, the good people of Katsina State, to thank all of you.
In the Mukaddimah, Ibn Khaldun reminds us that the goal of civilization is the attainment of justice. For justice is the bond that holds human society together. It was justice, as he understood it, that President Buhari pursued. Open in solitude, open is understood, but always with sincerity. History shall dissect his traces, probe his silences, but it shall never deny his commitment. He was not a man given to flair, but to death, not to flamboyance, but to fortitude. His was a life of deliberate restraint.
President Bola Tinubu has, during the burial of the late former president, directed the vice president to not only bring the body of the former president back home from London, where he died, but also stay back and oversee the peaceful conclusion of the burial rites. From Daura, Katsina State, Abraham Jubrila, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the African Union has appointed Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, as a special envoy for the Sahel region. President Ndayishimiye will spearhead the renewed African Union's high-level diplomatic support and collaborative efforts aimed at addressing the prevailing security and humanitarian challenges in the Sahel. The special envoy's mandate covers intensifying engagement with the governmental authorities, opinion leaders, regional actors and organizations, civil society and all relevant stakeholders to foster dialogue, build consensus and promote comprehensive strategies towards durable peace and stability within the Sahel region. Now, tensions are palpable in the West African nation of Togo as highly anticipated local government elections have been held following weeks of angry protest calling for leader Faure Gnassingbe to resign. Voters heading out to cast their ballots on Thursday are expected to elect leaders of the country's 117 municipalities amid a heavier than usual security presence and shortened land borders. At the same time, demonstrators have scheduled protests in the capital Lomé to intentionally clash with the date of the vote, prompting fears of possible widespread violence. Although small Togo commands weight as a developing maritime and transit hub in the region because of an important port in the seaside capital Lomé, which is perched on the edge of the Atlantic. The country serves as a gateway into inland Sahel nations and is also home to a major West African airline, meaning unrest there could reverberate across the region. Elsewhere, health experts, data registrars and international partners assembly in Abuja to look at the possibility of changing how the country detects, tracks and tackles cancer. This is at a 2-day basic cancer registry training and induction for the newly established population-based cancer registry. Uche Ugochukwu reports on how better cancer data could mean better survival chances for millions of Nigerians.
Investigations reveal that cancer cases are frequently marked by late diagnosis, inadequate record keeping, and fragmented responses in Nigeria. Many cancer patients have said to have died without their cases being documented. Unlike hospital-based reports, population-based cancer registries track every new cancer case within specific region, providing detailed data that facilitates health planning. With support from international partners, NICRAT is training health workers to utilize modern tools while emphasizing confidentiality, ethical standards, and data accuracy.
Normally, when you said you're having cancer cases in the country and you don't have very good data, we have not been doing anything wonderful. But for the past few years now, we're having data from cancer cases. It has been a very wonderful experience.
We're informed that there's a new software to manage cancer data, so that's the CanReg 5. So it promises to be a hands-on training.
As NICRAT lays the foundation for cancer surveillance, initiatives are also in progress to integrate registry data with hospital records, death certificates, and screening programs, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of Nigeria's cancer burden.
This will include implementing real-time data collection system to support rapid decision-making and early intervention nationwide. These efforts will be complemented by a robust public awareness initiative and comprehensive stakeholder engagement strategies.
With the right partnerships, political commitment, and a new generation of trained registrars, there is hope for a transformative story in Nigeria's fight against cancer. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated its determination to end Nigeria's dependence on fish importation by aggressively boosting local fish production. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, disclosed this at a high-level consultative meeting with fisheries cooperative groups in Abuja. Chikunonsonwa Bueze reports.
Boosting local fish production and the repositioning of the aquaculture subsector to make it more economically viable will no doubt reduce Nigeria's dependence on fish importation. This meeting, convened by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, provides the needed avenue for the Minister, Adeboyega Oyetola, to outline bold vision aimed at transforming the nation's aquaculture sector into a powerhouse of food security, employment, and export competitiveness. He emphasized the federal government's full commitment through policy, technical support, and financial inclusion in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
The federal government has identified fisheries and aquaculture as priority areas for enhancing food security, promoting rural development, and generating employment. As such, the policy direction of the ministry's focus on scaling up domestic fish production, reducing dependency on imports, and positioning Nigeria to achieve self-sufficiency and export competitiveness.
A pilot project should be set up or established by establishing aquaculture input center in 12 states across the 6 geopolitical zones, 2 by each zone.
We want to produce our own feed. We want to make our own local feed. So we want you to help us, to give us the equipment to be able to produce feed to feed our fishes.
Participants at the highly interactive engagement praised the initiative as timely and long overdue, expressing hope that the consultative approach would lead to actionable results in actualizing Nigeria's potential to becoming self-sufficient in fish production and a net exporter of fish. Chikunonsonwa Bueze, NTA News.
In other news, the chances of the new coalition to get power in 2027 seem shaky as some old members of the ADC, the new coalition platform, have vowed to fight all the forces trying to take over the party structure. Presidential candidates of the party in the 2023 general elections, Dumebi Kachiku, says he will resist the coalition crusaders with any means possible, as the removal of party leaders across the states is against the constitutional provisions of the party. Addressing a press conference in Abuja, the former presidential candidate alleged that those who presided over the looting of the nation's commonwealth are fighting to return to power through the coalition and vowed to stop them from achieving their goals.
Seeking to hijack the ADC as a means to revive their personal economies. They are truly on a rescue mission, but it's a mission to rescue themselves from the harsh economic realities which they themselves created for our nation. I want to reiterate that the ADC is not for sale, and it's not an old people's home. We are a party that believes Nigeria needs fresh faces, fresh ideals, and fresh ideas. This current political war is the war of the old for the old. It's not our fight. In the ADC, Nigeria and Nigerians will always remain our objective.
Media organizations play a pivotal role in shaping national consciousness, promoting unity, and upholding cultural values. This position was underscored during the official inauguration of the Planning Committee for the 2025 Joint Carol of 9 Lessons, hosted by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Voice of Nigeria, VON. The Director General of FRCN, Dr. Muhammad Bulama, reaffirmed the corporation's commitment to supporting the committee, emphasizing the importance of collaboration in delivering a successful and impactful event. He stated that FRCN remains dedicated to using its platforms to foster peace and national cohesion through shared cultural and spiritual experiences.
That is why every year we make sure that these two events, they are very important to us, and we showcase them in the best possible way we can. And 2025 will not be an exception.
We want Nigerians to be encouraged by this verse in the Bible by St. Paul, that they can do all things through Christ. He's the one that will strengthen them.
The 2025 edition of the FRCN, NTA, and VON Carol of 9 Lessons is scheduled to hold on the 7th of December with the theme, Christ Our Strength. The event is expected to draw participants from across the country in a celebration of faith, unity, and hope. And that concludes the news on NTA International. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nolene Ebel-Ame, and my sign language interpreter has been Hannah Olainka. Bye for now.